Flory Models Daily Vlog. Here we are on Friday the 8th of January 2016, and horrible week for me, to be honest. I am dying of some unknown lurgy. Obviously it's a male strain, so that makes it a lot worse than anything that females can have. But to be honest, I feel pretty rough. Sweat's the work's going on at the moment. Needless to say, yesterday I felt really bad, so there was no way I was going to do a vlog, but I did leave you with these guys down here. So these are the Stormtroopers. Originally I was going to string you out until next week for them, but because obviously I was dying, I put up part one of working with the Stormtroopers. So it was a bit of an all-on thing. First of all, we had the review up, which was obviously a review for this guy, and he's fantastic, isn't he? So there's the new Stormtrooper, or the new Force Awakens film. Absolutely fantastic, goes together just like all the others do. The plastic and everything else is something absolutely amazing. So in the full build, we show building him start to finish, no problem at all. We don't show building the Stormtroopers, the older ones, purely because they go together almost identically. The legs, the articulation, all the bits and pieces, just obviously the helmets are really different, but the rest of it is pretty much the standard. Then we're going to go on to, in part two, talking about weathering this guy. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward. It's one of those things, I think you can overcomplicate it. When I was first looking at it, I was thinking, okay, how are we going to tackle this? So immediately I'm thinking, okay, pin washes, and then I'm thinking about actually coming in perhaps with pastels, pigments, things like that, to bring it up, because obviously trying to get stuff to stick to this is going to be a nightmare. Steve, our armour god, mentioned to me he gave his a flat coat, went straight over the top. So that's the route I went down, and I did it the way I tell you never to do it. And that is basically to come in and I use the polyurethane flat coat, which is a good coat, don't get me wrong, just takes far too long to dry. Because it takes too long to dry, as soon as it had been on, I went over the top of it with our sand wash. We went over it with the grime wash first, which is the darker shade, then we went over it with the sand, and then we just distressed it. So I scraped it, and the great thing with the polyurethane, because it doesn't dry, you can peel it, you can tear it, you can actually take chunks out of it, which then goes down obviously to the plastic, which is nice and shiny and fresh and everything else like that. So that's exactly how we did him. Nothing particularly too much in it. The base, again, that was a straightforward job. That's just two coats of, was it just a paint down there as well, which if I remember rightly, we used some buff colour, there it is, XF, well, it's the wood deck tan we actually used, so it's XF78 for the bottom, and then we just go straight in over the top of it. Again, two types of washes, which you can see on there. Started off this time with a lighter colour first, so we're down with the sand, and then we put the grime over the top, and that gives us our beachy, sand, dirt, burnt look, because I wanted it to sort of tie in with him. So needless to say, part two will be up for that on Monday, okay, and we'll work our way through from that. But as I said, I absolutely love these figures. It's one of those things now. I've built a few more of these actually for other people as well that have asked me to do them as presents and things. So I've done a couple of ones of these, and I'm thinking, can't just have one though, can you? It looks great to have a few more. So never say never, I might have a few more. Now, as I said with this one, there is still a few more little bits to come. I still want to do Boba Fett, I still want to do the speeder bike, because to be honest, I'm halfway through the Trooper for him as well. So they're little things I'm going to do on the side, but fear not all you Star Wars haters out there. But I've got other things coming up straight away, so I'm going to put them in amongst other things. They'll be done in my own personal time and things like that, so then we can add them to the portfolio of the builds, and you can see the builds if you want to. Anyway, up today, I must admit I had every intention of doing a few more reviews, but I've been feeling that bad and I've had a lot of other things to do, so I've only got one for you this week, but we have got a good one at that. This is Trumpeter's brand new MiG-21 MF. It's a brilliant kit. I really like it, which is handy because I'm actually starting work on this on Monday. This is going to be my first build of the year for aircraft, and what we're going to do is going to actually use, as I said before, the actual Vallejo metal colour acrylic paints on this one. So the whole point of this one is really, well, like we did with the F-104, is just to see how good these really are, okay? So needless to say, stay tuned for this one, and we'll actually be putting these for a full-on test, because as we know, it's all very well spraying it down on Plasticarb. We put a coat onto Buster, he looked quite good in it, but actually getting that scale effect to seeing really what it looks like as an acrylic, because that's unfortunately where acrylics always fall short, the scale effect. They look great on big stuff because hell, it's metal colour, that will do, but as soon as you get down to the small, you get the fleck or the pigment actually into the metal, you can see it. It looks like a grit, you know, it's like a metallic effect instead of looking like metal, and that's something we've always had trouble with, to be honest. Tamiya are some of the worst metal effect colours you can get, and everybody else. And Vallejo, let's face it, their normal ones are horrible, but these in testing worked really well. So I'm very excited to be able to put these down onto this to see exactly what we've got. And then obviously we're starting with the Terminator as well. Some of you asked about the aftermarket stuff and said before, it's just the barrels at the moment. So next week I'm going to be starting on those builds. So as I say, part 1 on Monday will be, part 2 of the Stormtrooper will be Monday, and then part 1 either of the MiG or it'll be of actually the Terminator. That will be up on Wednesday next week as we make our way through. So lots and lots of things going on at the moment. One thing that is going on at the moment, and I'm going to have a bit of a rant here. We do the group builds on the site, as you know. Okay, the whole point of doing the group builds is it's trying to get everybody in, and we try and get as many people to get involved with the group builds as possible. All right. Now, the whole idea of a group build is bringing people together as a group, as a collective, to build a similar vein, okay, a similar type of genre of an area or a battle or whatever it is, okay. But the whole point of it is it's like a focused group. It's because otherwise you might as well just open it to everyone. Unfortunately though, and I'm blaming myself now because it must be me, I thought it was simple. It's clearly not, about what is allowed into this group build. Now the title is It's an Animal, okay, or it's an animal group build. So the name of it has to be an animal. Now the reason for doing this particular group build is, obviously I don't want people left out. I don't want the car guys thinking, well, I can't enter anything in that because it's a war. And I don't want the sci-fi guys saying, oh, I can't enter that because it's like, you know, something from the Second World War. And obviously I wanted everybody to get involved, and, you know, the ship guys going, oh, I can't enter that because, you know, whatever. The whole point is that because it's an animal title, let's face it, lots of military hardware, civilian and everything else is named after animals and things in nature, okay. So the whole point is to this one is that you would pick something, and immediately I was thinking simple stuff. So I'm thinking, you know, F-15 Eagle, okay, F-16, F-14 Tomcat, F-18 Hornet, and then obviously you've got, you know, vehicles and cars and various things who are named after animals and motorbikes and all things like that, and that was the point to it. But now it just seems to be that people are doing it deliberately to wind up the team now, are trying to get stuff in. There's one been brought to my attention this afternoon, it's a Nissan Skyline, but apparently it's called Godzilla because a journalist said it once. So, and that counts. Well, that doesn't count because, quite frankly, it's a Nissan Skyline. That's what it is. Okay, we know there's grey areas. Okay, and we try and get as many people involved to it as again. And I am as laid back as anyone knows. And if there's a way of getting it in, I will get you into the actual group build. Okay. But the thing is, people now are being picky, saying, well, why can't I put that in? Now, we spoke about one I did before about obviously a Hawkeye and a Frogfoot. What's the difference? Because a Frogfoot, actually its real name in Russian is Rook. Okay, so that's quite straightforward. All right, but you know, some people say now about like a strike eagle. It's an eagle, it's just designated a strike because it's ground attack, but technically it's still an eagle, so that would count. Okay, so there's, you know, we have to draw a line. Okay, so when the team are saying no, it's no. Don't argue the toss and start coming back saying, oh, but he's allowed his and he's done his. If we've said no, it's no. And stop trying to backdoor your way into the group build by saying, actually, if you put it into this language and then convert it to this language and then say in this language, it turns out it's an insect. No, it's not. It doesn't work like that. It has to be its name. Simple thing is, Google it, all right? This is, one of the guys posted it up. Sorry, I've forgotten your name. One of the members actually said in the forum, easiest way, Google it and see what comes up in image search. Okay, so just Google it. If it doesn't come up in image search straight away, then you know you're not onto a good one, okay? But technically, if it just pops up, you know it is obviously an official name. If it doesn't appear there, then you probably know it's not. But needless to say, it's winding me and the team up big time, okay? And also the whole point of these things is to sort of, you know, there is a little prize at the end of it and everything else, all right? It does cost a lot. It costs me as a company around about 800 quid every time to do these group builds because of all the postage, the packaging, and obviously the medals, sticker sets, sanders, whatever we send out to you guys, and obviously the prize winners as well. You know, the budget on the last one was 800 quid, you know, and it all got used. This one, the more people into it, the more it's going to cost, okay? So just by saying, oh, can I get in, can I, well, you know, it's just going to end up that we're going to turn around and say, tell you what, just enter what you like, and we'll walk away from it because it's ridiculous, you know? So actually just try and play fair and stop winding everybody up, okay? It's like, well, he's allowed his is called a badger. Badger is a reporting name from NATO. It's his official name in the West. I know it's not that in Russia, but it is over here, so that counts. So it's like, you know, it's getting really childish and very, very boring. And I must admit, I apologise to the gentleman who I put that on the forum with, and I actually said, bored of this now. I was just getting so wound up at doing with this. And to be honest, I've been speaking to Steve this afternoon. He's really pissed off with it as well, and I'm getting that way with it as well, purely because of people just not appreciating the time and effort it takes for us to continuously answer stupid questions. And I know we say there's no such thing as a stupid question, but some of these really are taking the proverbial piss, really, all right? So as you can see, I'm a bit upset about it. That's probably because I'm sweating like a pig and don't feel exactly 100%, but there we go. Anyway, on a lighter note, thank you to everybody who entered the Star Wars group build. I'm currently editing the actual last bit for that. And obviously for the red versus blue, I'm going to start editing that probably early part of next week. And then obviously I'm going to be in touch to get your names and addresses, to get your medals, sticker set, badges, and bits and pieces out to everybody who took part in that one. So in the meantime, on a far lighter note, here's some of your great work that you completed this week from the gallery. So until Monday, everybody, happy modelling, take care.